The HubSpot helpline. Helpline.
It's Rob, it's George, it's Casey, and Kyle. Come with a problem and leave with a smile. Every Friday at 3, come and join us as we help you with HubSpot. Open up your LinkedIn, just make sure you call in and leave a voicemail about HubSpot. Make your Friday divine with the HubSpot helpline.
Welcome to the HubSpot helpline. Rob could not be here today, but I'm filling in. I am the mayor of Inbound Bobblehead.
Wow.
I've gained consciousness. How's everybody doing today?
Less
good than I was right before we
that
started.
for the whole show, brother.
I was laughing so hard at George, and then the music always gets me in a good mood. I was like, been doing these real admin of genius. I felt very bobbly. In all seriousness, though, we're glad to be here, glad to help. We've got Chris, Mr. Profoundly Pro 4000. We have Miss Greyhound of the helpline, and we're joined, as always, by Mr. GBT, the man, the myth, the living legend, George B. Thomas. The B stands for Bad Mama Jamma.
Oh, hey, I'll take that. And of course, we have Rob here, which is the master of ceremonies, the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend. And so I'm great. I'm happy to be here. It's better than where I was last Friday. That's all I'm going to say. We can keep moving on. We'll keep moving on.
We'll keep marching forward. No need to ask. Thank you for the boundary setting. Looking to destroy Matthew Ruxton in the Admin of the Year voting, and I was lucky enough to kind of co-host a show between you two. About 20 minutes in, I had mentioned we need some vitriol here. I mean, this is a competition. And she lost her mind. The rest of the show was kind of awkward because every answer was directed at him, but it was good. The ratings were through the roof. How are the reactions to that?
The ratings.
The ratings are so, yeah, it's been going well. I will say, although I have nothing against our friend Matthew Ruxton. My husband does, most of my friends do, and all of my family.
Shots fired.
Wow. Sorry, Ruxy, if you're watching this, it's nothing personal, but it is personal.
You're not invited to Thanksgiving. I'm sorry, Rux.
Yeah.
He'll be fine. I think Casey's an underdog in that matchup, for being honest.
Everybody loves a good underdog, especially when she's the Greyhound of the helpline. Chris, man, how are you this week? You are returning again. Mr. Kyle's still out, so lo and behold, you are not behind the scenes. No Imperial March today unless you depart from us and then come back for some reason. But how are you doing this week?
I'm doing well. Was excited to announce the data summit earlier today that is coming up at the end of the month.
August 28th, correct? I called it something wrong because I was shocked by how long it was. I'm not going to mention it again, but it is the Value First Data Summit, yes?
Yes, and we've got over 20 experts already raising their hands to participate. And I'm addicted to trying to help with just deep issues that we've never been able to solve before. Data cleanliness and a HubSpot portal is one of those issues. And
you cleared that up for me. I was going to just HubSpot, or could we talk after the show? I got some stuff, but we'll leave it just with HubSpot for now. Speaking of, Inbound is what, 30 days, 31 days, 29 days away? What is it? How far away? What's the countdown looking like?
24 days away.
Oh, God.
That's a small number.
I mean, like, what happened? Where did this year go?
To AI. That's where I went.
Oh, thanks. And HubSpot updates. AI and HubSpot updates brought to you by the year 2025.
That is correct. Yeah. And so flying in that Sunday, it's always the most tiring and energizing week of the year, really, for me. I'm an introverted extrovert. And so I like I'm a homebody, but when I go do that, I very much like meeting people and talking to friends and colleagues, and then meeting in real life people that I've gotten to know on LinkedIn. But it is a full 4 or 5 days of work. I wanted to start off today. We have a couple topics, but I wanted to start off with there. Apparently, nobody needs call-in help from the call, but we do have some questions. One from Reddit, I believe, and one that I think Casey, you were going to present waterfall lists. I don't know if that's a question or said it was a concept that got mentioned on the morning show, and you were going to go over that. What do we want to start with today?
Wait. Is this like don't go around chasing waterfalls? Like, is this a
That's the one.
TLC moment that we're having on the
Exactly
show?
right.
You got
Yeah.
it.
Go
Yeah.
chasing
One
water-
more thing about inbound coming up. I feel like we're starting to see more confirmations, from people like Mark Hans, right? He's went over to Tango earlier this year. Always did the donut happy hour in the morning on Fridays. He just announced that this week, I think. So we're starting to see more people. It's like it's in San Francisco. Are the usual suspects going to be there? I think we're seeing more and more people confirm that it won't be that much different than what we're used to in some respects. So that's good to see.
I would almost weirdly disagree, just because like the usual suspects to me, it would be Scott Brinker, Andy Petrie, and they're
Okay.
there's some weird changes, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can my role here is to be the Columbo, right? So I'm not sure if there's anything behind that, but I do know that with the progression and their stance on AI first and kind of the whole smart CRM thing, I would just ask you, like, is that part of the product advancing? I mean, Karen is great. That's not the point. It's just like somebody speak to that, because I saw that and I haven't had much context.
Well, here's what I'll say about it. I literally got text messages from humans about Andy, and I was like, wait, what happened? So I personally was living under a rock, because it took other humans to like text message me that it even happened. And I am shocked. The timing is super interesting to me. And my brain flashed back to the whole HubSpot book years and years ago that was written around like some stuff that we won't need to bring up, a hashback, and I'm like, wait, did we have another book moment? But maybe not. I don't know. But dang gone, it's weird.
Yeah, they were obviously critical in the advancement of the last, light speed the last 2-3 years, especially. So, we don't have to go into that. This is not the Kardashians. This is not E-Weekly. This is not any of that. It was just me asking a question. Chris has his finger raised. So, Chris, I believe you'd like to make a point.
Maybe that can be the cue for the music, since I can't just show up in the background.
You're saying, are you talking about like the... All right, there you go. You got it.
I like to assume positive intent where possible, and
Yes.
I think we could point to some other situations. This is not like Andy is. I've not seen him announce anything or anything like that, but there have been some other changes where really smart people like see opportunities.
Yeah.
Are opening up with AI, and they can just go do things they've been dreaming out for a while, and they can get them done real quick. And I could definitely see that being a thing. To be like, I mean, you've been doing the same stuff for a long time. You see opportunity all around you. If it's the right time, it's the right time. So
I mean, let's be honest.
Maybe he got one of those Meta $250 million. This is just pure speculation, but I mean, if that's it, to your point, Chris, it's like, yeah, I mean, let's go do that.
I mean, to be honest, this isn't the first time, right? Like, I remember been in the ecosystem long enough when Mark Killens left HubSpot Academy. I was like, oh my God, what just happened? Like, and there's been other people that have been like upper echelon that have moved on and done like fabulous things. And so I love Chris that he went with positive intent. Obviously, we wish them all well, and can't wait to see what they bring to the world. Like, I remember Chris O'Donnell when he left, and he was a pivotal part of like the product and stuff, and now what they're working on. So it's amazing to watch. But as one of the guys who have been around since 2012, like, man, it's hard to build relationships and keep them when like stuff like this happens.
Well, I mean, I think we can round it out with it. It's not relegated only to, as you said, the upper echelon. Like I know plenty of reps, SEs, other folks that have been there and have moved and like started their own thing or joined other. I think the moral, like the bottom line, is that HubSpot has hired and is still hiring really, really solid, bright, ambitious people to help them advance and grow. And that's, to me, that's all this is a reflection of. So
or retire, right? Dan Tyre retired.
Yeah.
Like let's be honest, like he's been there forever. And the amount, by the way, since I brought up Dan Tyre, I don't know why it just popped in my brain. The amount of times that the Women of HubSpot on the Women of HubSpot podcast have mentioned him as a mentor or inspiration is not mind-blowing, because I get it. He's a good dude, but like to what you're saying, Rob, of like the type of people that HubSpot hire and of the fact that they might go somewhere or retire or whatever, it's like, it kind of makes sense. Like there's a lot of humans in and out, in those doors and then potentially out of those doors as well.
Right.
Helping millions grow better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I did feel like a real HubSpot news person though, because it was 2 months ago, Chris, when I said to Chris, I think Andy's leaving HubSpot. And
just a prediction or like messing around with a Ouija board? Whatever happened.
No. He was off the inbound speaker list.
He dropped off the inbound speaker list.
Yeah, see, that's
the
the kind
person
of stuff
that's supposed to give the product keynote was no longer on the inbound speaker list. So that was a good catch on her part.
Well, let's speaking of positive intent, let's go with some positive intent here and help somebody out. Chris, do you have the first question of the day?
Yeah. From one Gooey Duck 1.
Wow.
On
Love
the
it.
Reddit.
Sold.
When does it make sense and not make sense to build a website on HubSpot? Does it make sense to build a full marketing website on HubSpot? Or does it make more sense to integrate HubSpot tracking and forms into an external website? What website features functionality might be a tipping point that can't easily be accomplished on HubSpot? What about non-standard e-commerce, forums, client portals? My gut suggests these things go beyond what HubSpot is designed for.
Wow.
I'm not going to entertain the client portals part. So we're just going to leave that. Yes, we could do that on HubSpot all day and all night.
Yeah.
Probably some points here about non-standard e-commerce, whatever the hell that means.
Well, but let's be honest, that's changed. Like, like there's things that literally bring in e-commerce functionality. The things that people are changing, when I say people, the Commerce Hub team, what they're changing, like I see people already doing what might be considered e-commerce. But go, Casey, I know you have thoughts.
No, I just was going to say, I think this question comes from a historic misconception, or I mean, it was a true conception at some point, but it is now a misconception that HubSpot's website tools aren't top tier, and they are now, and they weren't always. Like, that's obviously, but they have made a ton of improvements, and I think HubSpot websites are up against the best website tools out there. And if you're using HubSpot, from my perspective, if you're using HubSpot as your CRM, there's not a whole lot of reason not to use HubSpot for your website. It's only going to make your CRM work better.
Well, yes, but also flip that. Your CRM is going to make your website work better.
True.
That's the thing. Like, people are like, I think you read in there, Chris, CTAs and forms. But let's go past that because now CTAs are actually pop-ups, they're banner drop-downs, like they've evolved since what might this historical question be. But even past that, like there was nothing listed in there about smart content, right? And so the ability to do smart content on a
Mhm.
HubSpot CMS website and truly give a one-to-one versus a one-to-many feeling user experience. And that's the thing with when I think about this question, it's like, listen, are you just building a WordPress style? Not that, please, hate mail goes to Chris at, but if you're, are you building like a WordPress brochure style website? Or are you building a website that's just functionally the outcome is like we want a dope user experience? Because then you've got this smart content that you can do, and so many other things. That's the other thing is it's gone past just CMS. Like you've got Remix, you've got podcast, you've got case studies, you've got the CMS tools. Now they're drag and drop. Like you've got HubDB. Like there's just so many things that have been added since it was $50 a month for like a web tool that to now what it is. Like to me, there's no question. I don't have to worry about plugins. I don't really have to worry about getting hacked. I have a HubSpot support team. If something breaks, there's a whole community of other people developing on it that actually care if you're successful with your website and are willing to help you. Like there's so many custom solutions that you can build. There's memberships has been, but even better now, like membership, that used to be a thing that would kind of kick you off the boot of like, no, I can't really do that. Like, oh my God. Like, anyway.
My thoughts, Chris, I think you're rubbing off on me because it's not that I would not say HubSpot, but there was very little information in there about like, here's my business model. Here's how far I am. Like all of that comes into my head first of like, do you even need a website? You mentioned non-standard e-commerce. Like, of course, people like everybody needs a website, but all of that came into my head first of, is that the priority right now? Like that, all of those came into my head to be able to then more accurately answer the question. I feel like that's what you were on cue.
Yeah. I mean,
There we go.
speaking of an opportunity happening right now,
Shout out
Jennifer's
Jennifer
probably
Nixon.
answering this question, and
Mhm.
probably not many people better than Jennifer Nixon to handle a question like this. If I'm being honest, she's a master with portals and just these web experiences in HubSpot.
I thought that's why I had a blocker because it didn't say like what are the advantages, disadvantages. You said when or could we duck? I don't want to assume, but when does it make sense and not make sense? So like when should you do it? It almost seemed like
Right.
I'm going to do it on HubSpot. I'm going to choose HubSpot to build a website, but when should I do that? And then he kind of got a little rambling in some of the details.
Yeah, I think there's one question that we have a decent chance of answering here without just a ton of ambiguity. And that's what website features functionality might be a tipping point that can't easily be accomplished on HubSpot, right? There are real answers to that. Otherwise, it's what does full marketing website mean? I have no idea what that phrase means in the grand scheme of things. And then just starts throwing options out there. I think like our challenge is always getting to the actual like question, like Rob's saying. But even now, like I was finding as we were talking about it, I want to shout out Nicole Pereira, who is also a wizard when it comes to using HubDB and like the whole HubSpot platform to support like super personalized web experiences, like really great web experiences. The higher you get, closer to enterprise level websites, where people just need to manage things in bulk. They need auditability, they need traceability, and to go backwards and forwards and have everything saved at all times. That has not been possible, like just not, right? And has built this app that she's starting to beta test with people to solve that issue. And like it was a great conversation with her. And this is the kind of thing, like there have been use cases that just shut down a deal like for CMS. This is one of them. We've got great people in the ecosystem that are recognizing this stuff. We've got AI tools that make it easy to spin new things up. So while without this, that is one of the answers to the question, is bulk editability across, like, you know, the usual. If you think of webmasters and what they're responsible for, like old school IT perspective, right? HubSpot's never been about that stuff, first of all, no matter which part you look at. But even then, like, content staging is getting better. Like, it's just harder and harder to find gaps. But like any other part of HubSpot, the closer you get to enterprise places that we've never played before, that's where you start to find the gaps.
How did I go on my rant and not talk about content staging? It's like one of my child themes, content staging. Like, let's go. Like,
Yeah,
so good. Like,
that's
so
where I would dig into this, and like that's why I'd rather talk about what could be, because while you're answering no to some of those, it's like, which other system has integration with the CRM like HubSpot? Like none,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And now we're talking about real experiences that cost like hundreds of thousands of dollars to develop in other systems. Like, that's where it's like, don't even talk about building client portals outside of, like, it makes no sense now. Like, you have the CRM data right there. All you have to do is maintain the CRM and the portal gets maintained. I mean,
Well, I mean,
my brain even goes, sorry, Rob, my brain even goes into one other direction. Then I'll shut up. It's like, I've got a WordPress website. I want to add videos. Let me go ahead and host those on Wistia. I've got a HubSpot website. I want to host videos. Let me go ahead and host those in my file manager. Oh, by the way, I'm hosting those in my file manager. I also have a video editor, and I can publish it over to YouTube. Like, wait, you can't do that from WordPress. Can't do that from Joomla. I don't think Joomla does that anytime soon. Like,
yeah, like, you have to, people want to, like, let me find this point solution use case and then just crush HubSpot because they can't. And it's like, yeah, if that's how you view HubSpot, HubSpot has a full platform. And the moment you can get there, like, we don't even need to talk about budget anymore. Like, it's insane to think that you're not going to get the ROI when you actually appreciate and use the whole platform.
There's also, I mean, my background is mostly in sales, right? So like, who's going to be building the website? And have you ever built one? Do you currently have one? Is this like, so are you rebuilding? If you are super technically savvy, that aside from all the advantages and benefits of HubSpot and the integrations and what George just mentioned, like, I can build a website using, so there's that type of thing that makes the experience better. The CMS has improved a lot, but also, is it you that's going to be doing it, or are you just in general referencing like ease of use down the road? What's the intent? So that's where my head kind of went also.
Yeah, I was with you, Rob, because my background's marketing. A lot of times marketing teams are building website pages and things like that. And HubSpot's drag and drop tools just make it so much easier. I have worked in WordPress websites, I've worked in Drupal websites, and a lot of times I, a marketer, need a developer to make any substantial edits, versus in HubSpot, I'm able to very quickly and easily make edits. And it depends on your WordPress theme, it depends on your technical capabilities, obviously, but in HubSpot, you're gonna be able to.
I'm laughing because of that exact same thing. I think RP's website was at some point, I mean, when I started, was on WordPress. But the marketing team, if you can even call me a part of that, was very junior. And so they were like, yeah, just go edit this page. And it was like, an act of Congress. We destroyed some things. We broke some things. We turned the website completely yellow or something weird from it. I mean, it was not fun. Now,
Yeah.
lack of experience played into that, but if I could just drag and drop or, do something like that, would have been a ton easier.
Listen, I used to work at a place where literally we built websites with .NET Nuke. I was joking kind of before in the green room of like that term, but that's why I know that term. I've used Joomla. I've used WordPress. I see zero reason of me ever going back. Now, do I help clients with these other platforms? Yes. Do we always talk about, hey, we could transform it and do XYZ in HubSpot? Yes. Like, and by the way, if everybody hasn't noticed, HubSpot will continue to get better. Like what we're talking about, how awesome it is now, is like for the next 13 minutes. And then something's going to get updated and it's going to be better. Like,
I think they take their product like direction from they're snooping on Chris's rants when he has them. Like this is the one blocker, and they're just like they look somebody's paid to just sit there with notes and be like, okay, yeah, they can't do it. All right, this is, guys, I know what we need to work on next. Carolyn is pissed off again.
Usually we're seeing the other way where they come in and they appreciate how much love we're giving them on the morning show.
100%, yes. I mean,
it's always been good though. Like that's the beauty of the HubSpot ecosystem and HubSpot themselves. Like the product team, like find another one that's more responsive, more does more listening to the customer base, to the point where most people are uncomfortable about how fast they act on that stuff. But
I mean, we're here for that type of reason, yes.
Right? And they're built to, and we're seeing it right now, like their ability to iterate and ship is now 10x to 100x thanks to AI.
Without a doubt.
That's awesome.
Without it.
Speaking of waterfalls, like 15 minutes ago.
Chasing waterfall.
Yeah, you told me no more puns than hit that one. That's actually a pretty good reference. Casey, you were mentioning something, the waterfall list, a concept that got mentioned on the morning show a few months ago. Happy to talk through demo this. That was my understanding of it was TLC. Would you show us what you're talking about? Almost bring up a prompt and then let us know the next thing we're about to dive into. George.
I like it. I like it.
Why do I?
Are you ready to share the screen?
Casey's like,
it's ready.
Okay.
Why do I do this? Why do I work with only men? I don't know. This is so. Hello everyone. So a couple of months ago, I mentioned this concept of waterfall lists on the morning show. And to be honest, for the last few months, I have been meaning to get to a LinkedIn post about it. So instead of doing that, I am going to demo this live here. So a lot of times I find a issue people have in HubSpot is finding the right contacts in their system. And what I end up seeing is a lot of individual lists that I think there's an opportunity here. So I'm going to talk more about job titles for this specific instance, looking at a persona. So my persona is going to be, I sell QuickBooks. I sell accounting software. So most of my audience is going to be in the job title contains finance bookkeeping. But I also want to segment that based on seniority. And then I actually care about operations titles as well. So instead of creating individual lists for CFOs, VP of finance, and then VP of operations, I can create what I'm referring to as like waterfall lists. So the first list I'm going to make is job title contains finance. Realizing I should have picked an easier to spell thing, but I did it.
I hate that word. It always jacks me up. That
finance.
And that word too.
Bookkeeping. We'll see. Review and save. We're going to save this as an active list.
Oh my gosh, you saved a list without doing an AI generated description for it. Oh my gosh. Just kidding.
It's a demo. Everyone calm down. Now I'm going to do job title contains VP and C-suite. Job title contains any of president, VP of, chief of, CFO, and so on. Now comes the combined portion. So now I can create a third list. Senior finance. List membership. Title. Save and save. The benefit of doing it this way is now when I want to find my senior operations, I just need to do my job title contains operations. And I already have job title contains VP, C-suite, and I can just reference that over and over again rather than having to recreate and think of every title every time. Who have I lost?
No, it's funny because what I love that you're doing here is you're breaking a historical mindset. And so many HubSpot users have this like a list is a list stands by itself mindset versus like, how do we combine these to actually get more power out of the system?
And it's a little bit of a quality of life thing so that you don't have to recreate the wheel every single time. And for a lot of the organizations I work with, I have VP and C-suite. I also have manager level. I might have things below that as well that are words that I know.
Is the thought here that the third combined list has like built-in exclusions, or is the preferred list because it contains both and is updated?
Well, it's saying
The
it's this
preferred.
and that. Only show me the things that are this and that.
Correct.
Not all of this, not all of that, but this and that, thread it down to this. Like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I can see how you could scale that into, I mean, this is an easy demo type of thing, but to really hone in on, list contained Robert, right? Last name contains Jones. And then a third one contains both. You take all the Roberts, and then you have just me, right? It's like the ideal person there for who you're trying to speak with.
Yep, that's it.
It also kind of categorizes it and is a catch-all for, to your point, weird titles or weird like rankings or hierarchy that you may or may not have thought of.
Well,
I mean, I think that's a big piece. Yeah.
I think you
Go
can
ahead,
take
George.
almost any property, like any set of properties that are custom properties based on things that they need to know in their system. If you wanted any type of like combo, you could have a master list and a master list, but then come up with this waterfall list to get the thing that you're actually trying to get, like where they intersect.
That's what I was trying to say. It, like you said that much better, where they intersect, right? So it could be any it could be geo, it could be like 10, whatever that looks like also, because then the idea is that the first however many lists roll up to like a 5 to 10% of the absolute criteria that you're looking for as the result of all those being combined together.
And I also think maintenance is a big piece of this because so maybe I found that, in my job title contains finance list, I think I said like finance, accounting, bookkeeping. Maybe I find another job title that's relevant for that list. Rather than having to add that to my senior finance list and my finance list and all of the other like manager levels and such, I just have to add that to the one list, and then the rest are automatically updated.
Yeah. Again, where the term waterfall comes from, because I change it in one place and it just flows down to the other lists that I'm using, which gets real interesting or real gnarly if actually used that end list for a workflow.
Mhm.
So like one thing is like you could do it on purpose, or you should maybe be careful of that if you're doing what Casey just showed. Because I think it could work both ways. Like if all of a sudden I knew, hey, I would want to add this one thing, and then hopefully it would impact this third list, which would then give me another 50, 500,000 people that would be triggered in this workflow based on the specificity of that bottom of the waterfall, maybe the dam list. I don't know. Let's check the damn list. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm an idiot. That's why they have me on the show.
BAM. This is a
Of course, not the other one. If it was
Well,
the
you-
other one,
We
it'd
do
be-
have digital asset management in HubSpot now,
yeah,
basically,
yeah.
thanks to the beautiful files situation.
Yeah. If it was the other one, it'd be the list, that kind of thing. Anyway, not Morse code.
Yeah, this is family programming, so I appreciate the censorship there. Damn list was funny though. You mentioned you led this off with like my persona and kind of my head went to prospecting, but George mentioned workflow. Is there another use case for using waterfall lists that is not like prospecting, or that it would be super useful for?
Reporting. I use it in reporting too. In the same way, and either with context, but also with deals. Really, like I can say deals. I often will have a list of deals that are this type or selling this product, and deals in these stages. And it's much easier for me from a reporting standpoint, especially if I'm using that filter on multiple reports. If I use waterfall lists structures, then I don't have to go and edit the individual reports. I just have to edit the lists that the reports are filtered based off of.
Nice.
Love that. Chris, you look like you're digging again. Is there something you're trying to show, or are you just gobsmacked? I heard that recently. I thought it was a good term. Gobsmacked by the level of insight from Miss Hawkins.
Oh, I thought that was a band. Isn't that a band? Gobsmacked? Oh, no. That maybe it's different. Never mind.
No, actually, like full transparency, I just got an important request about a HubSpot portal that I admin,
Uh-oh.
and I'm solving for it.
That you what? That you what, Chris?
That I
Chris,
admin.
what was that?
So what a sequitur.
Yes.
What does that word mean? I've for context,
there you
I've spent the whole week making. Well, I spent 2 straight days making a bunch of these videos. Real admin of genius for admin of the year. Chris's feelings and thoughts on this have been. I mean, you can mention it again about what the word means, and actually, you were the one to where talking to you and talking to some other people just with less depth. Crispy, right? If I were to call you an admin, he's like, oh, and then I can't repeat it. So why is there that connotation, and what does the word mean? I know that was one of the things we wanted to talk about, and it's part of why the campaign is admin plus more than, right? Because you call it or refer to it as more of a coach. And when Casey, Matthew, and I were talking, that was one of the things that came up at the end. And there was some really, I think you would have beard slapped. There was some really good stuff that they came up with. The 2 things of note that I would like y'all to talk about is, one, Matthew said you're really more of a chief adoption officer, which I loved because it's of process, of skill, of behavior, of tools that you're training. There's a very training type element there. And then Casey and Matthew kind of got into Matthew owns the HubSpot portal and account where he works. So he's internal. Casey is in 20 accounts per day. So there's more of you just saying that, like a portal that I admin, it brings up some connotations of what the term could mean if you're internal and have one, HubSpot instance you're responsible for primarily versus consulting or have multiple that you're doing admin work in. So a lot of info. George is trying to hop in.
Those are a lot of words. So
Sorry.
Go ahead, everyone.
Can I just say how much I love AI? I'm just gonna say how much I love AI because you threw that question out, and I'm sitting here with GPT-5, And I asked it this question. I said, hey, what could an acronym for admin mean when talking about HubSpot super admins? Of course, my GPT knows a whole ish ton about HubSpot super admins. And so it first comes out with this admin of analytics driven, data integrity, management, integration, nurturing. And then, Rob, you said coaching. And I said, okay, what about if we went from coach or overseer of the portal? What is the admin acronym for that? Now, listen to this. Align. Keep teams, goals, and HubSpot set up moving in the same direction. Develop. Grow user skills, confidence, and adoption of HubSpot tools. Mentor. Guide best practices, offer feedback, and help team members flourish in the CRM. Inspire. Encourage creativity, curiosity, and problem solving with HubSpot features. Navigate. Steer the organization through changes, updates, and strategic decisions in the portal. My goodness. That's
really
an admin right there, ladies and gentlemen.
That is really good.
Hit
But
us,
it
hit
go
us
ahead,
with
Chris.
that first version again, please.
Yeah. The first version was it was more of like mindsets kind of. So it was like analytics driven, using HubSpot reports, dashboards, and tracking to make data backed decisions. Data integrity, maintaining clean, accurate, and deduplicated CRM records. Management, overseeing users, permissions, workflows, and system configurations. Integration, connecting HubSpot with other tools, ensuring smooth data flow and functionality. And nurturing, supporting teams, optimizing processes, and ensuring the CRM enables growth across marketing, sales, and service.
I have a request before Chris answers that you can be working on while he gives his answer. Can you ask it to create an acronym for what AI should take off of an admin's plate and create an acronym for that? Because one of the things I thought was M being monitor, right? Like there's that kind of goes with data integrity and it was a crossover, but that seems like something that Breeze or whatever AI layer you have should be able to do as far as like hygiene, cleanliness, integrity, and it would take that type of thing off the plate. Go ahead, Chris. The mic is yours.
That's it. Like that whole first version of the acronym, AI is about to do all that. And that's why like it was so different. The coaching angle, like we've been talking about this for a while. Like we need admins. Like if you want to stay as the go-to person for HubSpot, as they bring in all this AI stuff, you got to find a way to challenge your coach, like for the organization, because it's new for everybody. You're invested in this tool. You can't be break fix like anymore. Like the thing I had to do just now is like open up permissions a little bit more, right? That's going to be something real soon. That is open up Breeze. Breeze will check against your permission sets and your user role, and does it make sense with the other people that are in your role too? Versus we need the people there to say like, okay, why do you need permission? Like, what are you like? No, you've got that over here. Like you should be over in this place. The coachability. And that's another thing. Like if you can move your view that way, AI is really good at helping enable that in ways that we've never seen before. But I want to take a step back, like, because it's real easy. At the end of the day, HubSpot is the ambiguous word in many of these cases. And the difference between an admin of a marketing hub only portal versus a full customer platform, massively different. But when you take a step back and just the word admin, I think what we want it to be is the systems administrators of the IT world and the Salesforce ecosystem that are super technical, are respected inside of the business, do get paid a lot of money, hold the keys to the kingdom a lot of the time. They don't have to worry about, their sway over an organization because they're seen as linchpins of the organization. Every other version I've come across of an admin in other parts of the business, it's the lowest paid person. Like whatever department it's in, like go delegate, like go do those tasks, right? As HubSpot admins haven't had to do all that, have that technical background, go through like in-person proctored exams to get their admin status,
Wow, those words.
they show up in lots of other ways that aren't necessarily respected. That's why accidental admin's a thing. It's just like, oh, you're the marketing coordinator, but we need an admin. So why don't you just add that hat on? And oh, we got 6 hubs now, but you don't have authority over sales or service or any of the other people, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I take issue with like trying to make that word work, because I don't want it to be the systems administrator. We don't necessarily like that group of people.
Yeah.
Like people refer to those people as the they get in the way of sales. They want to say no to everything. Everything is a 6-month project. We don't want that either. Right. So that's where, if we want people to move towards coaching and that kind of role, like, I think we've got to change. For me, it helps to change the language that we're using around the thing instead of trying to redefine the word.
Yeah, without a doubt. You know, my doctor scheduled me for one of those proctored exams here in like a couple of weeks.
Look, I mean, I agree with everything you said, Chris. I mean, let's just get us back in here while we still have something going. To your point, like, I think you're a very individual. You're a unicorn. You're an outlier. And the problem is that so many people in this community we just talked about it earlier. HubSpot hires good people. They also attract really, really good people to do work because they're like, oh my God, 3 years ago, none of this was possible. And now it is. So the people buy into the problem solving innately, right? Like Laura Brennan, we read a comment by her earlier, said, I don't really care what you call it because I don't need the praise. I love the challenge. And I like that mindset, the mindset of an admin, not pay grade, not any of that, is what I see as the common thread. And you have that. Everybody on this call probably but me has that. Like George has been doing this stuff for longer than I've been alive, right?
No, God, I'm not that. Holy crap.
I'm 15, but I just look old, George. I'm 15.
Man, can I go into the weekend not feeling old as ish? Please, come on.
So I'll follow it up with a real question. George, would you consider yourself a coach?
Oh, without a doubt.
Chris, would you consider yourself a coach?
Yeah.
Both of you know the platform on the like 1% level. So in order to have the coach status, you have to be not only like incredibly knowledgeable, up to date, like like Kyle Jepson says, most of my knowledge of HubSpot is like theoretical because I haven't served in the role and built stuff out. You both have.
Yeah.
And so like, while I agree that like anybody that can coach most of the time has done whatever it is to the highest level. So I agree with the sentiment about like, we don't want to be that because then they can pay less, or then it's like the connotation is bad. Admin try to stop sales and block stuff. But I would also argue that if you're calling yourself a coach of HubSpot and the platform and whatever, that you have to have enough expertise to be able to answer whatever question and have enough business acumen, really like go-to-market acumen with HubSpot.
That's it right there.
That you're able to explain both components, right?
Yeah. The ability to understand the platform well enough and the needed process for the actual context of the business is like ninja moves. But let me be honest with you, because like you hit that 1% thing and I was like, because even though I've been doing this since 2012 and I know, again, before I get any hate mail or people trying to like put me on a therapy chair, I know a lot about HubSpot. But Rob, even as the guy that I am, I wake up in the morning and go, man, I just don't know enough. I just don't know at all. And sometimes I have imposter syndrome where I'm like, everybody thinks that I'm like this HubSpot, whatever. And there's so many pieces where I'm like, oh, I could just do better. I could be better. I could look. And I don't know if that's a dysfunction in myself, but like, if you're an admin out there or you're somebody using HubSpot and you are like, I feel like I'm drowning on some given days because of HubSpot and the way that it moves, know that you're not alone. Like, know that that's how a lot of us feel, but we're just swimming, right? We're just swimming and we're doing the best we can. And like, so yes, I am a coach, but also I am a learner.
Well,
Like,
I would ask you real quick, how many times have you felt like that you're drowning or that you can't keep up? And then whenever you say a lot, I would say, how many times have you stayed with it and done that? Like where I'm going is admin is less of a role or a job description and more of an attitude of
It
like,
is.
I'm going to figure it out, period. So like
You
that's my interpretation of it.
you have to be stubborn as hell. Or the word that I like to use is you have to be persistent, right? You have to be persistent. So what is my purpose as a coach? To help humans be better at HubSpot. What am I passionate about? Technology, user experience, website design, like the growth of humans. What do I love? I love the game. I love the challenge. I never know what's coming next, that somebody's going to try to stump me, and bam, we hacked HubSpot and we made it happen. Like, by the way, the 4 cornerstones of the superhuman framework, right? If I just throw that out there, like, but you have to be a little bit hard headed and have some grit to like want to figure it out. But that's what I'm saying. Like, you can have this coach or leader mindset, but you have to have that other piece that is the learner. It's the thing that I love to talk about, where like I wake up as a student, I go to bed as the master. I wake up as the student, I go to bed as the master. Like, that's the mentality or mindset, that if you're going to be a dope super admin over time, it's rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
Chris, I felt like you wanted to say something.
Yeah, I think you bring up a painful point of this ecosystem about the way we throw around titles and like labels. Similarly to accidental admin, it's like,
Yep.
okay, I'm managing Marketing Hub, but somebody's got to take care of the portal, so I guess I'm an admin now. Like, no, not according to the real world. Just because you're fixing some stuff in the HubSpot portal, right? That's where, as much as it's like, I don't necessarily like the system and how it's set up, like titles mean something in these other ecosystems, like senior engineer 1, 2, 3. Like, you had to work and pass specific exams to level up in that way. So you're right. Like, if you just started calling yourself an admin, you don't just get to start calling yourself a coach, because I'm telling you, you need to have a coach. Like, you need to be a
Right.
coach instead. Right.
Well, this is hopefully understood out of a place of like good intent. My background being in therapy, right? So that, like, with, let's just call it Breeze, but with AI, with all of the advances now, you both have kind of hinted this, Chris. I think you said it more directly. The portal is about to be able to take care of itself to an extent. And so what you're then going to have to do is yes, coach, but it's more of a behavioral architect, because the people that are still in the system and using it are going to have questions. They're going to have challenges. They are not trying to wake up as the student and go to bed as the master. They are trying to wake up poor and go to bed with more money because they're in sales or because they're in whatever. Like, that's the intent. And so whenever I use the term, the best thing I've landed on from anything is behavioral architect, just because I'm imagining there's going to be new terms. Like, there already kind of are GTM, whatever that is, all of that. So there are going to be new terms, but the intent should be, how do we get the results from the people using the system that we're intending? And that system is going to change a lot. And the processes are going to, like, that's the system. If it can start to maintain more of itself, then you're still going to have to be able to drive business outcomes through user behavior to whatever extent that is.
I've been thinking about this a lot with the competition and like what my role is. So when we talked to Matthew Ruxton yesterday, he mentioned that custom coded workflow actions are one of his favorite things.
And it was so funny when he brought that up. Oh man, just a little digital in our private messaging sometimes.
So Matthew Ruxton mentioned that custom coded workflow actions are one of his favorite HubSpot features. I do not like custom coded workflow actions. I've tried and I've not figured them out. And this is something I've been like kind of struggling with, honestly, to go back to join George on the therapy train of the imposter syndrome. Like, I have been struggling with this year. I've been a lot more forward facing. In my HubSpot world. I don't know. But that means that I'm often talking to people who know things I don't, and I don't even understand. And that puts me, as someone who considers themselves pretty handy at HubSpot, in an uncomfortable place where like I'm realizing what I don't know too.
Yep.
And there's so much I don't know. However, for me personally, I find my role to be helping the average HubSpot user use HubSpot better. And I'm feeling more comfortable in that, and that I don't need to know how custom coded workflow actions work, because the average HubSpot user is not using those. If we need those, we need to hire someone like Matthew Ruxton to do that for us, and that's fine. And I think that's where I do feel like the coach thing, I don't know, the HubSpot helper, I don't know, whatever it means, is where I land. But I think also that means that admin plus is not the same for everyone. It's not a single role.
Yeah. In my journey of discomfort for the things that I don't know, two things that have helped me is, one, understanding I'm really great at finding the answer, and two, I'm great at hiring the he or she that can actually do the thing that I don't know how to do. And if you have your base talents and you can plug those other two pieces in, you will be able to demolish any roadblock that is in your way.
It keeps coming back to this area of whether it's primarily helping, primarily training, enabling, primarily doing the work, but it's very much rooted in problem solving as an attitude and an approach to the system. And that's like, let me just say that on behalf of the Luddite, like the people who are not, even George, you said you're not one of the 1%. That is a massively inspiring quality, because having that and having I'm not going to give up and I'm going to figure it out. I'll tell all three of you and anybody else listening to this, the 16 admin of the year, that makes the people want to do the work that you're putting in front of them, is knowing the person training or enabling or whatever it is going to stop at nothing to help you by solving whatever problems in front of you. So,
yep.
Thank you. Chris, you want to take us out on that note?
Everybody have a wonderful weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Hello, you've reached the HubSpot helpline. Helpline.
It's Rob, it's George, it's Casey, and Kyle. Come with a problem and leave with a smile. Every Friday at 3, come and join us as we help you with HubSpot. Open up your LinkedIn, just make sure you call in and leave a voicemail about HubSpot. Make your Friday divine with the HubSpot helpline.